Hey, it appears to be working. What is up? Hi. I'm just going to goof around tonight. Thought I'd open some packs. I've been buying card packs for weeks and haven't had a chance to open them. So I thought I'd start off with that because it's just kind of fun. We have a whole bunch. Okay, so for funsies, let's take a look. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 Bloomborough packs. Those are play boosters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 set boosters for Ixia. And a couple of oddball collector booster sample packs. So yeah, let's get into it. Hear my music too. All right. I'm going to start with these guys, these little dudes. Because I've actually never... I have a bunch of precons. I've never opened any of the collector booster sample packs from those. So... yeah, notoriously difficult to open. There we go. Just a few little cards here. Okay. Oop, okay. Also, let's get the lighting right here. Okay. Also, how y'all doing tonight? Okay, we got Rankle and Torbran, legendary creature, fairy dwarf. It's a 3/4, and flying first strike haste. Whoever Rankle and Torbran deals combat damage to whenever it deals combat damage to a player or battle, choose any number. Each player creates a token, a treasure token. Each player sacks a creature. If a source would deal damage to a player or battle this turn, it deals that much damage +2 instead. Cool. A little pringled, but that's cool. And then the other one is Fija, Judge of Valor. I'm going to mess that name up. Angel Cleric. It's black and white. Flying and lifelink. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them in your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Excuse me. Cool. Okay. Those 2 little guys out of the... that was out of the March of the Machine sample pack. Here we have the murders at Carlisle Manor. This is probably came out of the Nelly Borka precon. All right. Like witchy stuff. All right, what do we got here? Oh my gosh. No, I didn't. Okay, like this would be really funny. Massacre Girl, known killer, 4/4 legendary creature assassin with menace. Creatures you control have wither. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, if its toughness was less than 1, draw a card. The reason I kind of like balked at that a little bit was that was a card I thought I was looking for to build my Keurig deck. Nelia, what's going on? But I think that was just plain Massacre Girl. And then expose the culprit is an instant. Choose one or both. Turn target face down creature face up. Exile any number of face up creatures you control with disguise in a face down pile. Shuffle that pile, then cloak them. There's a whole lot of mechanic there that I don't know anything about. Also, yeah, the autofocus on that camera is going bananas. Let me see if I can get that to focus a little bit better. Hold on. Camera control. Yeah, it's about as good as it's going to get, I think. And I think it's probably because I have it zoomed in. I'll just read the cards to you. Yeah. Everything else is probably okay. We'll leave it at that. It's going to be what it is until I get a better camera. Tooth, what's going on? We're just cracking some packs. And I have something I want to mess around with later if we have time. But I'm just chilling. So let's go through Phyrexia first. Because I'm excited about these, but I'm more excited about Bloomburrow. So we'll start with these. These are set boosters, so could be interesting things in there. Tooth, what's going on with you? You tell me while I wrestle with this. Like, I'm looking around, I'm like, of all the things I don't have down here, I don't think I have a pair of scissors. Yeah, Bloomburrow is great, and I have a particular affinity for Bellow. This guy. My boy. So chill over here. Glad it's a weekend. Same. It's a long weekend, too. You work on Monday? Leo, yeah. Picked that up at MagicCon Chicago. I have a 4-day. Good. Music and video games. That sounds amazing. This will be amazing if I can get it open. Sometimes I just get unlucky with these. Phineas Ace Archer became my fave. Mid-game with him right now. That's cool. All right. There we go. All right. So, Phyrexia. Hoping for some cool swamp mountain. But we'll take what we can get. So, we got Baldwin Sentry Herdmaster. 07. He's a blocker. As long as it's your turn, each creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Interesting. Whenever this card attacks, up to 100 target creatures get each get +0/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. That's cool. It's fun. Magmatic Sprinter, 3/2 with haste. When a Magmatic Sprinter enters the battlefield, put 2 oil counters on target artifact or creature you control at the beginning of your end step. Return Magmatic Sprinter to its owner's hand unless you remove 2 oil counters from it. Huh. Trying to imagine what I would do with that. Bloated Contaminator is a 4/4 Phyrexian Beast with Trample, Toxic 1. Players dealt combat damage by this creature also get a poison counter. Whenever Bloated Contaminator deals combat damage to a player, proliferate. This is cool art. I like this a lot. This is Slowbad Iron Goblin, 3/3 Phyrexian Goblin Artificer. You can tap it, sack an artifact, add an amount of mountain equal to the sacrificed artifact's mana value. Spend this mana only to cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifacts. Rustvine Cultivator. 1/2 Phyrexian Elf Druid. Tap and put an oil counter on Rustvine Cultivator. Tap, remove an oil counter from Rustvine Cultivator. Untap target land. Ah. It's good. It's cool art too. Necrosquito. 0/0 Phyrexian Insect with flying. When it ETBs, it ETBs with 2 oil counters on it. Gets +1/+1 for each oil counter on it. Whenever another creature or artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put an oil counter on Necrosquito. Gross. I need to take a sip here and clear my throat. Cool. Armored Scrap Gorger. 0/3 Beast. Armored Scrap Gorger gets a +3/+0 as long as it has 3 or more oil counters on it. You can tap. It's a mana dork, so tap, add 1 mana of any color. And whenever Armored Scape Gorger becomes tapped, exile target card from a graveyard and put an oil counter on the Scrap Gorger. Crack one open. Truth. Evolving Adaptive 0/0 ETBs with an oil counter on it. Gets a +1/+1 for each oil counter on it. And whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, if that creature has greater power or toughness than Evolving Adaptive, put an oil counter on Evolving Adaptive. All right. Got our land here. It's a sphere. The Fair Basilica adds a plains. You can pay 1 and plus a plains, tap and sacrifice this to draw a card. Ah, the Basilica Skull Bomb. I want to know who names these. It's an artifact. You pay 1, sacrifice it to draw a card, or you can pay a plains and 2 more, sacrifice it, and creatures you can control get +2/+2 and flying until end of turn. Plus you draw a card and activate only as a sorcery. Zealot's Conviction is an enchantment with flash. It's aura enchantment. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. And also it has Corrupted, which is as long as an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, enchanted creature gets an additional +1/+0 and has first strike. Poison counters. Bone Picker Scourge? Yeah, sure. 2/2 Phyrexian Imp with flying. And then this also has Corrupted, which as long as an opponent has 3 or more poison counters. Bone Picker Scourge has Death Touch and Lifelink. And then a really nice looking island is the land in there. So, interesting stuff. Necrosquito. Rustvine Cultivator looks good. I could probably put... yeah, I don't know. Cardor has too many artifacts in there. Cool. On to the next. I might take a quicker approach to going through the cards because otherwise, I mean, that each one of these packs is going to take kind of forever. Cool art. I like that. So let's just lay them out. And go through each. Proliferate on Thrumming Bird. Okay. Got another Rustvine Cultivator. Cool plains. Land for turn here. Numerator Paladin. Let's take a look at you. 4/4 Phyrexian Knight. Toxic 2. Players dealt combat damage by this creature also get 2 poison counters. And when it ETBs, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to your hand. That's cool. Here's another one that might be interesting. I'm looking for black and red, basically. 4/4. This is Capricious Hellraiser. Spell costs 3 less to cast if you have 9 or more cards in your graveyard. Has flying. When you ETB, exile 3 cards at random from your graveyard. Choose a non-creature, non-land card from among them and copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Cool. Here's another one. Hexagold Halberd. Sorry. Is an artifact equipment for Mirrodin. When the equipment enters the battlefield, create 1 2/2 red rebel creature token, then attach this to it. As long as it's your turn, equipped creature has first strike and trample. That's cool. Like that. We got another Forge Hammer Centurion. A Phyrexian Warrior, 3/2. Whenever another creature or artifact you control is put in the graveyard from the battlefield, put an oil counter on Forge Hammer Centurion. Whenever Forge Hammer Centurion attacks, you may remove 2 oil counters from it. When you do, target creature can't block this turn. Nice. And then the last one I was kind of interested in, Volt Charge. Does 3 damage to any target, and it has Proliferate. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty good. This is Gonti. Holy Gonti. Cool. Yeah, you can see that. You see my wall behind me. So those tiles, those squares, just do not want to stay on the wall. You can see right there. There should be one there. Fell off the other day. I just can't get them to stick. I haven't bought any cards in a while. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to give up this tradition here shortly. But I started going to our LGS every Friday over lunch, and just picking up like four or 5 packs. So, I was in there today, and picking up packs, and had this like flashback to I used to smoke cigarettes, and like I'm standing there picking my packs out because the way they have it set up at the store is they have pack dispensers behind the counter, and you tell them what series you want and what type of set, or what type of pack. And I'm standing there and like had this weird flashback to buying cigarettes. I haven't smoked. When did I quit? I quit before I got married. So I got married in 2008. And so that'll tell you how long. I mean, you do the math. It's been a while. But yeah, it was the weirdest thing. Like, I haven't had any sort of feelings like that for a long time, but just today. It's weird. Yes, we know you are old. Thank you, Delta. Glad you're here. Anyway, let's take a look here. Burning Inquiry, what's that? Are you? Are you? I am. That's crazy. Yeah, just that feeling of like I'm standing at the counter, married in 2005. We waited a little bit to get married. I like this. Each player draws 3 cards, then discards 2 cards at random. That's chaotic. That would go into the Cardor deck really well. What are you? 20 years this year. I'm glad you're here, Delta. That is 20 years is awesome. We are 3 years away from that. The Filigree Silex. Legendary artifact. Put an oil counter. So oil counters are a thing I gotta read about with Phyrexia. Put an oil counter on the Filigree Silex. Tap and sack it. Destroy each non-land permanent with mana value equal to the number of oil counters on the Silex. Tap and remove 10 oil counters from among permanents you control and sacrifice the Filigree Silex. It deals 10 damage to any target. Yeah. How long were... Okay, we were together roughly 5 years before we got hitched. And a great deal... A big part of the reason for that was Jessica going to grad school. And so, like, she wanted, rightfully so, she wanted to pour all of her time and energy into studies. So we waited a little bit, but no big deal. Blightbelly Rat is... I'm looking specifically here for cards that could be useful in my Keurig deck and my Cardor deck. So young. Yeah. Yeah, and that's okay too. I mean, there's no set clock on this shit at all. And I remember, so we were friends first, and then lost touch, and I kind of called her out of the blue, and I remember, so we were living in different towns, and she made the trip to where I was living, and I remember seeing, like, I was gonna cook dinner for her. I remember seeing her and like coming to the realization that she was already family. Like, I knew her already, and I was just, yeah. I just knew. And so it didn't really matter. Like, we waited 5 years. Could have been 10. Like, you just know. So, okay. Blightbelly Rat. You proliferate when it dies. It's a 2/2 with Toxic 1. Feed the Infection. That's another one. Draw 3 cards and you lose 3 life. Each opponent who has 3 or more poison counters loses 3 life. So this is dependent on poison counter. Yeah, when you know, you know. Yep. Chimney Rabble. 3/3 with haste. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 red Phyrexian goblin creature tokens. We bring out some goblins. Cool. And then Shrapnel Slinger is another red. 2/2 artifact creature. When Shrapnel Slinger enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature. When you do, destroy target artifact an opponent controls. Okay. Right on. Bellow is green-red? Is that right? Yeah, he's here. He's chilling. We got some... I think he deserves a more prominent place on the mat here. There he is. Because he's just a little guy. All he ever wanted to do was cute shit. And the fact that you die because of it is not of his concern. Because he's a little guy. I need him to open my pack for me. I met Dave out at the LGS today. Yeah, he just wants to show you all the shiny little trinkets that he sends at 800 miles an hour at your head. It's just a little guy. I love that. Like, I'd play Bello with Jess, and I just remind her that he is just a little guy. And he doesn't mean any harm. And I need a blowtorch or the jaws of life to open this thing. Do I have a knife? I have lots of knives down here. But Tiger Teeth. No, we ain't doing that. This is it. Crafting knife, man. A knife set is awesome. Pulls out his Dexter set. We're not. Shit. That's funny. All right, let's see what we got here. Cool ass art. Speaking of cool ass art, Delta, we gotta get something going again. I miss writing the magic stuff. I've been writing a lot of. I have some started. We started like a million years ago, so it's time to revisit that. And yeah, 2, maybe 3, or the beginning of a 3rd. I can't remember. But yeah, we most certainly need to get back on that horse. I kinda would not. 2 stuck together. 12 cards. Okay. These 12 card packs? Yeah. Okay. Kalia and Perforos, yeah. Yeah, no, it's time. And I want to, I'm thinking perhaps going back to MagicCon Chicago. I really had a lot of fun there. That was a great setup. I'm going to just tell you this now. I don't think I'll be at GCX. It's such a tough time to get away. So, but I'd love to go to MagicCon again. I'd love to go to GCX, but I really don't think it's in the cards. Cards. Anyway. So what are you, Sawblade Scamp? You scamp. You're a 1/1. With haste, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil counter on Sawblade Scamp. Tap and remove an oil counter from Sawblade Scamp, and it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Yeah, not terrible. All right. Again, we're looking at black and red right now. Awaken the Sleeper. It's a sorcerer. You gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. If it's equipped, you may destroy all equipment attached to that creature. Huh. Gross. That would be good in Cardor. I need to put more stuff in Cardor that that does things like that. Like it, it just doesn't have early game stuff. Also, that second card on top row is this guy. The what are we looking at? Black green. Oh wow. Okay, 3/3 with first strike and death touch. This is the Glissa Sunslayer. I've heard of this card. Whenever Glissa Sunslayer deals combat damage to a player, choose one. You can draw a card and lose a life, destroy target enchantment, remove up to 3 counters from target. Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Thanks for pointing that out. Did I get Sawblade? I feel like Sawblade Scamp. Did we get 2 of those? No? Yeah. Huh. That's funny. Got 2 of the same card, different art. So that's cool. This is really nice. It's just camera's just effing out of focus. Cool. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Cool. Yeah, I'm not messing around anymore. Like, this knife just goes through this packaging like butter. Like, it's not even, I'm not even worried about cutting a card. I don't have to push. Like, it just, done. I love pen knives. Okay. What the hell is going on here? I like that a lot, but it's terrifying. So cut yourself. Thanks. I appreciate you. Always good advice. Another rest fine. Ooh. May have gotten a couple of these already. That's all right. Furnace Punisher. There's some furnace stuff going on here. Some mountain. It's what I'm here for, reminding you to drink water and eat, and do not cut yourself. Okay. I will not cut myself. Oh, yeah. Okay. What do we have here? Prosthetic Injector. Artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +0/+2 and has Toxic 1. Nice. They get a poison counter if you hit them. Anyway, Furnace Punisher. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, Furnace Punisher deals 2 damage to that player unless they control 2 or more basic lands. Okay. This is an early game, dude. Basic lands. The Menace too. Let's see. Magmatic Sprinter, I think we already have one of those. When an ETB is 2 oil counters on target artifact or creature you control at the beginning of your end step, return a Magmatic Sprinter to its owner's hand unless you remove 2 oil counters from it. Oh, interesting. So it pops in and out. Okay. Then we got Brask's Anointer, a 4/2 artifact creature, Phyrexian Wizard. Again, I'm going for black and red here. When Brask's Anointer enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to any target where X is the number of permanents you control with oil counters on them. Again, like, the oil counter mechanic kind of disqualifies these from being used in the card war deck, just because I just don't have any of that in there. I guess I could modify it to use that mechanic, but I don't know. We'll see. Hazardous Blast is a sorcery. It deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. Creatures your opponents control can't block this turn. So you hit them with this and then swing at them. We got another Furnace Strider, and the Autonomous Furnace, and a cool looking mountain. The other thing I just realized I got to do, I didn't just realize it, but I thought about it today, is I owe a handful of people some music for their generous donations to both ACLU and Trevor Project. So we gotta do that on stream. Absolutely. Delta, you're one, right? You're one of the... I'm not sure if you were theme song or... Yeah. Let me go and see. Retired. That was a good campaign. There we go. I was like, yeah, so you get a theme song. And Insulin, Tooth. Insulin donated twice. Yeah, we got some work to do. Cool. And I think Insulin came back and like hit it again for like another $100 for Trevor Project. So I'm just gonna write him I'm gonna score his life. Oh, Bello. So yeah, I'm gonna build a plan, do the thing. Actually, Delta, since you're here, get a full theme song. What is your preferred style? Yeah, no. It could be anything. It'll be between probably 3 and 5 minutes long. That sounds like a decent establishment. It's like anything else that we write on here, right? Here we cool. That's awesome. I love this art. Yeah, you ponder that, man, and I'll come back to you, probably on Discord, and check in with you if you give it any thought. There's some interesting, there's some really cool art in this pack. I want to look at Nahiri. I don't see many planeswalkers in these packs. So, Nahiri the Unforgiving is a legendary planeswalker. Completed. Oh shit! Nami already sending a DM. Oh my. Okay, so, pardon me, Nahiri. Says that you can pay for red or white with either a red, white, or 2 life. If life was paid, this planeswalker enters with 2 fewer loyalty counters. Interesting. Oh, that's the... Oh, I see. I see that pip. All right. Tosses into Bello. I thought Bello was red-green. This is red-white. Oh, the land. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good point. I'm going to pull that, set it aside, because Bello is my next project. So, Copperline Gorge enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands. So this is a good early game land. And it makes red and green. Cool. Set that aside. It's going to be my little bellow pile here. Let's see. What else we got? Still looking for red and black. Furnace Punisher. I think we've seen that already. One of the fast land cycle. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to just F this up real quick. Yeah, Furnace Punisher we've already seen. Offer immortality is an instant. Target creature gains death touch and indestructible until end of turn. Ha, cool. Yes, I like that. Another instant, Thrill of Possibility. As an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card and then draw 2 cards. All right, cool. Cool. I really should get into blue as well. Yeah, we're going to go back through these, and that'll be one that this, I don't know where I'm going to put that. So, the other day, I'll share this with you, Delta, played with my brothers. And there was some frustration over how the games were ending up. So we were all playing a bunch of, well, they were playing a bunch of new stuff that they wanted to see, how it came together, how their decks were going to perform. And I played just my same bullshit, as they say, back on my bullshit. I played Cardur and Keurig. And the Keurig game ended with one of the infinites that's in the deck, which was frustrating to everybody who just wanted to see what their decks did. Which I get. So, and this is where the part that might be interesting to you is we're gonna house rule it, I think, and I'm really excited about this. In order to make it so that kind of every deck has a chance to pop off, the modified rules will be as follows. Lightning rules, so 2 landfall per turn, and then at the beginning of turn, you card draw up to that's cool. Card draw back up to 7. If you have 7, you get your 8th like you normally would. So that's lightning rules. But on top of that, we're proposing, because that'll speed things up, right? But then the game might move too quickly. So we're gonna double starting life, and we're gonna double the damage required, commander damage required to kill. So start with 80, and he takes 42 commander damage to kill somebody. So that will hopefully mean that the game will move quickly, but still last a while, right? And then the last rule that I proposed was to limit infinites. So my proposal, we might do it a different way, but because Dave had some ideas. But my proposal was that when you have an infinite on your battlefield, it's not infinite. It will not iterate an infinite number of times. I would base it on a D20 roll. So that's how many iterations of the infinite you get to play that turn. It will prevent infinites from just ending the game. Gives the other players an opportunity. And this was what was wrong with the other day. And what I did was I played a 2-card infinite in 1 turn, and nobody could do anything about it. I mean, it could have been potentially, if we had a blue player, it could have been blocked by, could have been counterspelled or whatever. But nobody had anything, and it just ended the game. And, upsets some people who, wanted to see what their deck did. So it should be, if we play that, I'll let you know. It should be kind of cool, kind of interesting. All right, what we have out here, we got a Soulless Jailer. Let's move the knife so I don't cut cards. Cool. It's a artifact creature, Phyrexian Golem. Permanent cards in graveyards can't enter the battlefield. Ooh, I like that. Ben and Dave both have decks that are just like, if it's in my graveyard, it's fair play. Players can't cast non-creature spells from the graveyards or exile. Cool. That's a good one. How would you feel if hitting a 20 is a you win and you remove yourself to let the others decide to play out the rest of the game with where the things are? A nat 20 is an allow infinite. It's an interesting idea, but then we would just end up back in the same situation that we had previously, which is why I want to avoid any mode where the infinite would trigger infinitely. So I'd have to talk to my brothers about that. But the problem that we had the other day was, my infinite went off. We had a misunderstanding. My infinite went off. I won the game. But some people wanted to do exactly what you were talking about. And I misread what they were trying to say. And I was like, I'm done. Because my thing at that point was I didn't want to rewind board state. I couldn't. I basically would have been like, okay, I'm going to start my turn over. And my removing myself from the game was misinterpreted as me being angry about it. So I just want to avoid any misunderstandings like that. Yeah, let's let everybody play out their deck, see what happens, and just kind of a gentleman's rules kind of situation where if you're in a position to completely murder someone, maybe you don't right away, and maybe you politic a little bit more. We also talked about he knocked out a 10-8 that I had out. I'd played it and he just knocked it out immediately. And we're talking about it. He's like, I was like, well, next time let's just talk about it. And I should have said something too, oh, why are you targeting that creature? You don't even know if I'm going to hit you with it. If you don't kill the creature, I can commit to 2 turns where I don't swing at you. That kind of thing. We just got to do more of that, which is part of the fun of the game, right? Making deals and, alliances and whatnot. Ooh. It's a little tart. Oh, wrong one. Cool. Yeah, but playing with the intention to have fun and be with your brothers is, it's kind of the core of your time. Exactly. Yeah. It's just casual. It's fun. I think it's okay every once in a while to throw down and be like, okay, this is a competitive game. It's standard commander rules. I'm a little rat. And just go ham and try to murder each other. But most of the time it's really about just hanging out, like you said. What we did, in Chicago. Just play just a shitload of games, have a good time. Making alliances. Do you break those alliances, Tooth? Is that what we're hearing here? All right. Monument to Perfection, which is an artifact. I always get intrigued by artifacts, so it's not 4 cost, so it's not really bellow material, but yeah, no, Delta, absolutely. Well, I mean, yeah, we got to get a pod together. Pay 3 and tap. Search your library for a basic sphere or locus land card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Or you can pay 3 and not tap. Monument to Perfection becomes a 9/9 Phyrexian construct artifact creature, loses all abilities and gains indestructible and toxic 9. Yikes. Activate only if there are 9 or more lands with different names among the basic, sphere, and locust lands you control. That's cool. It's a 2 cost. Yeah, you just have to have the right lands. If someone makes a better alliance. If something better comes along, Tooth is out. Deuces, and he's gone. I only do that with my core friend group. Yeah. No, I know. I have no doubt that you are. But yeah, you can get away with some shenanigans with people that you know really well who are just not going to take it too seriously. Mirror Convert, artifact creature, Phyrexian Mirror, 2/1. Got Toxic 1, and you can tap it, pay 2 life, and add 1 mana of any color. That's very neighborly of him. What do we got here? Black green. Do I have a black green deck? I don't know. Cool. And then cool art on a swamp. Excuse me. Yeah, we're all good here. All fair magic. Fair magic. I think there's some merit, not merit. It's fun to double cross sometimes, but again, like, you got to know the people. You can't just sit down in a pod and that people you don't know and just like pull that shit. Ooh, where are you? Oh, sphere. Land as colorless. You can add mana of any color, but only on the turn that Mirrix comes into. Yeah. All right. All right. Mirror Convert in the last stack. Yeah, sit down at a pod with people you don't know and be a complete asshole. So go 100% dick move. Okay. Mirrix is cool. Creates any color and then colorless after that. What are you? Right. Yeah. I mean, I can see where, like, if you haven't landfall for turn and you know what you're going to do, you know, you've got a plan, but you're lacking 1 color mana, that's where this guy comes into play. Are you referring to Mirrix or as a different card? Because that's the one where it's like really limits you when it comes into play. When it ETBs. Red set. Remnant. Legendary artifact creature. Mirror 2/2. Whenever you cast a mirror spell, create a 1/1 colorless mirror artifact creature token. At the beginning of combat on your turn, untap each mirror you control. And then every color and tap, put 3 1/1 counters on each mirror you control. Activate only during your turn. Yeah, no, that's a good point. You know, reading it, I'm just like, interesting, but I don't know that I would ever use it. I'm going to use it as a colorless, but talking about Mirror Convert already. Necrogen Communion. Enchant a creature you control. Enchant a creature has Toxic 2. When an enchanted creature dies, return that card to the battlefield under your control. You lose the enchant, but oh, cool. Okay. Yep. Nothing else in here that I'm necessarily searching for. I love this piece of music, but it is so arrogant. I really need to go through and pull blue out and see if I can just build a damn deck out of it. All right, so that's all Phyrexian. Very cool. Got stacks, and then this. I'm gonna put this Copperline Gorge on top. I want to pull all my decks apart and build new ones. I haven't been happy with any of them. I'm really interested in getting good at deck building. I've upgraded a few. I've built from the ground up. Actually, it wasn't even just me. It was with your guys' help. That's why I always use the excuse when Keurig does Keurig stuff, that deck, which I refer to as temper tantrum. I always blame, actually to blame Delta mostly. We crowdsourced that fuck. We crowdsourced that. I crowdsourced that deck list. We built that deck list on stream before MagicCon Chicago because I wanted to make sure I knew what I was getting. And like between Delta and I think was McBoom on here too? Yeah. Was McBoom on here? I think he might have been here too. Tooth, I think you were here. We may have had one other fairly serious Magic player, and they were just like, you want this card and this card and this. It's just heinous shit. Yeah, it was eerie. Just absolutely just diabolical bullshit in that deck. It's a ton of fun to play. The only problem with the deck as it stands now is that unless it really goes off, it doesn't really go off. So if that makes any sense. Red, green. Squirrel Warlock. All right, now we're on the hunt. Yeah, no, I 100% threw you under the bus, dude. Just beep beep, and it went by. The Vika deck. Yeah, there are creatures in there, but they're like they're a little end gamey. Like Keyric's got who is that? Valgavoth, right? And shit like that. Like big nasty monsters, but not a whole ton of early game. And that's problematic. Because then, like, really all I'm doing when I play that deck is, like, hoping desperately that people don't slap the shit out of me. Because Keurig uses life for mana. And then, like, getting a combo out. So that's my first design with help. That, like, what I want to do is get good at, like, having a ramp in the deck that allows me to be competitive from, turn 1 or 2 on. Like, it doesn't need to be killer over the top, mean, but that deck and Cardor, that's like, I don't really get to do anything until I have at least like 5 lands out. And that's a problem, because with both of those decks, when I play with my brothers, they're like, well, hit them while you can, because, with Cardoor especially, we're not going to be able to hit them for very long, which, like, I've never really gotten Cardoor to flicker correctly. I got out Conjurer's Closet once, but that's a target, right? Anybody who has removal is going to, no, that needs to fucking go. Absolutely. Anyway, I digress. My point is that I really just want to learn the craft of building a good deck. Like a good, playable, solid, 3, maybe 4. So, yeah, they don't play right. They're terrible. Yeah, that's Kirik and Cardoor. I always joke that Cardoor is a solid number 2. He does not win, but I don't usually die first with him because he offers enough protection that it's not a big deal. But and Kirik is like, either he goes off like a nuclear weapon or he just sits there, and I slowly kill myself by spending life as mana. All right. Actually, I'm gonna revise my strategy here. Let's set these aside. I'm gonna end up with cards everywhere. All right. We're looking for red and green. So let's check this out. Frilled Spark Shooter, 3/3 Archer with Menace and Reach. Frilled Spark Shooter enters with +1/+1 counter on it if an opponent lost life this turn. Interesting. Okay. I think it's also hard that both of your main decks are kind of target decks. Yeah, so building something that plays differently or doesn't draw too much attention would help break up that feeling of I always get targeted. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I've also been reading about diversion cards and stuff like that. That's been kind of a cool idea, stuff that you put in your deck to misdirect people and draw their attention away from what you're really doing. Kind of a cool idea. I got to keep an eye out for. Yeah. Well, I think it means really that you have to give yourself options, right? So you don't want to waste a card by putting something in the deck that's just completely doesn't make any sense. So building in synergies, several different synergies that play off the command, whatever the commander does, that's what I'm going to be going for. Not necessarily combos, but just strategies. It would be cool if you could build a deck that had 2 or 3 different mechanics, different strategies that you can employ to progress your deck. So maybe somebody blows up something that gives you counters, but you also have the ability to go wide with token creatures, stuff like that. Anyway, we got another raccoon here. This is the Baker's Bane duo. When it enters, you create a food token. Whenever you expend 4, Baker's Bane duo gets +1/+1 until end of turn. We're routinely spending. Stress is a 2/2. Yeah, we're looking for enchantments and artifacts too. Of mana value, mana cost 4 or greater. Bumbleflower's Sharepot. Yeah, expend is a fun mechanic. It's because at a certain point you're gonna do it. You're gonna spend 4 or more. So having something like that just gives you a little kick. It's cool. When Bumbleflower's Sharepot enters, create a food token. It's an artifact with pay 2, tap, and sack this creature and gain 3 life. If you pay 5, Tap and sacrifice this. You can destroy target non-land permanent and activate only as a sorcery. This I have mixed feelings on. Like, I want to bring stuff into the deck that, I mean, this is great. But it's not a 4 or greater cost. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it out. Okay. This would fit. It's a green-black. Corpse Buried Cultivator, 2/3 Squirrel Warlock. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may forage, which is exile 3 cards from your graveyard or sacrifice a food. Whenever you forage, put a +1/+1 counter on Corpse Buried Cultivator. Yep, that's going to go in the stack. That's a 3-cost, 2/3 creature that gives itself pluses. I can get behind that. What else? That's it for this pack for Bello. All right. We'll never again crack packs. Well, I'm not really cracking packs, I'm cutting packs. All right. We are having fun. And that's what matters. All right. Delta, are you playing tonight? Are you playing any 40K or I'm not sure. I know you guys sometimes play Thursdays. All right, what do we have here, guys? Did we just get one of these? Maker's Bane Duo. Yeah. So we'll leave that one out of the stack because we already have one in the stack. Sazcap's Brew is an instant. It's red. Gift a tapped fish. You may promise an opponent a gift as you cast a spell. If you do, they create a 1/1 tapped blue fish creature token before its other effects. And as an additional cost, discard a card. Target player draws 2 cards. If the gift was promised, target creature you control gets +2/+0. Oh my. Warhammer is a money pit. But it's a fun money pit. But it's a money pit. Delta, tell him. I have mixed feelings about you, but we'll put them over here. Right now, I'm just hanging out here. No 40K for me. Our 2v2 is missing some people. Was going to look to play some Magic, but ended up hanging out with M for a while. And that's good. That's a good thing. Frilled Spark Shooter, 3/3 Lizard Archer with Menace and Reach. Frilled Spark Shooter enters with a +1/+1 counter on it if an opponent lost life this turn. Oh, I think we saw this guy already, too. Is he in the stack? Yep. Yep. I don't buy. Oh yeah, that's true. That is the way. I say my son is buying it, but it's me. I'm paying. Yeah, I feel that. Oh, here we go. Oh, it can't be equipment. Bellow cannot sling equipment. But gift a fish. When Starforged Sword enters, if the gift was promised, attach Starforged Sword to target creature you control. Oh, loses flying. That's funny. Equipped creature gets +3/+3 and loses flying. It's got equip 3. Delta, I'm right in that Bello cannot chuck equipment artifacts. It's like it's aura enchantments and equipment artifacts that he can't. Okay. I'll put him in there. Heartfire Hero. Yeah, a little mouse. A 1-cost, little 1/1. Whenever it becomes a target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it. When it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. Yep, going in there. No. Cap is the guy that throws equipment. Really need to do like a WWE and have like folding chairs and stuff that you can chuck. Bushy Bodyguard, Squirrel Warrior 2/1, Offspring 2. You may pay an additional 2 as you cast a spell. If you do, then you get to create a 1/1 token copy of it. When this creature dies, you may forage. If you do, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Huh. Oh, when it enters. I misread that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like that. Put that over there. Who's your commander? The Rock. The Rock, but only in his heel days. I'm a poser, though. I don't... I've not watched it. I know some of the terminology. I also really dig The Rock and John Cena as human beings. I think they're decent guys. I want Stone Cold. Yeah. You go classic. Macho Man Randy Savage. Just say no thank you to Hulk Hogan. Oh. Yeah. We're building the deck right now, aren't we? I can tell you this, I wouldn't be shocked to find that there is a proxy deck out there that is all of this. Because this just seems so obvious. Raccoon Rallier. 2/2 Raccoon Bard. Tap, target creature you control gains haste until end of turn. Interesting. Sun Shower Druid. 0/2. When it enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and you gain 1 life. That's pleasant. Yeah, we when we were at MagicCon, we were waiting to get into the convention, and we were talking about IP that would be a lot of fun for wizards to tackle. These are like, you know, childhood core memories. I want a Ghostbusters deck. I want a Back to the Future deck. Doc and Marty as co-commanders. What else did we talk about? Ghostbusters is possible. Ghostbusters would be great. Sorry, I'm not familiar. SLD. Oh, are you serious? Secret lair. Is it really? Oh my god. Okay. Well, there goes my money. Oops, here I go spending again. Oh my god, that would be like the only deck I play. If I were to get my hands on. One sec, we're gonna get links, aren't we? Let's do this. Go to the internet. In the meantime, I will just go through this real quick. Kind of dig that. For Bello. Have to look at the deck list. Some of these things might already be in there. Reptilian Recruiter, a 4/2 with trample. When it enters, choose target creature. If that creature's power is 2 or less, or if you control another lizard, gain control of that creature until end of turn. Untap it, and it gains haste until end of turn. Stealing creatures. I dig it. Tinder Wall Guide, 2/2, Possum Druid, Offspring 2, pay extra, create a copy. Oh, Mana Dork. Alright, cool. That guy's going in the suggestion box. Alright. Let's see what absurdity we've got here. Oh yeah. Slimer is your... Okay. Is it just Slimer? There's another. Yeah. Slimer and stay puffed. He's an ooze. As Slimer ETBs, you may exile 2 creature cards from graveyards. If you do, he enters as a copy of one of those cards with a number of additional +1/+1 counters on him equal to the power of the other card. He's an ugly little spud, isn't he? Right on. That's not going to be in here. These are... yeah. Aha! Here we are. There it is. This is cool as hell. Exile 2 target cards from a single graveyard. Power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards exiled with it. Okay. The foils and non-foils. Yeah, I will be setting that aside. Thank you for Sorry, Jeff. Thanks for going down that rabbit hole with me. That's cool. Childhood memories. All right, we got this guy. Hidden Grotto's all right. I'll pull that in there. Yeah, you might. Valley Rally is instant gift of food. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. If the gift was promised, target creature you control gains first strike until end of turn. Some merit to that. Overprotect is good. Yeah. It's a good thing. Did I get a raccoon out here? Yeah, I'm gonna throw that in there. Truth. Truth. What are friends for if not to blame? Making a mess. All right. Okay, guess some things in here. We've seen this guy before. Sunshower Druid. Yeah, we have. That's cool. Might of the Meek. Target creature gains trample until end of turn. It also gets +1/+0 until end of turn if you control a mouse. Draw a card. Alright, Might of the Meek's cool. Mouse deck, I guess. Okay. Cindering Cutthroat is a lizard. Enters with a +1/+1 counter on it if an opponent lost life this turn. I think have we seen this guy before? I feel like yeah. And then if you pay black or red +1 more, gains menace until end of turn. I'll put it in here. I think I already saw that then, though. I do believe. High Stride. Ooh, target creature gets +1/+3 and gains reach until end of turn. Untap it. Seems useful. Heartfire Hero. There's a mouse. Valiant. Whenever Heartfire Hero becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Yeah, I've seen this one too, but again, I like it enough. I'm gonna make sure that it's in there. Cool. This is the battle song. We got to do some of these too. Haven't done a good battle song in a while. Just have a pile of trash over on the side. All right. Daggerfang Duo. There's some stuff in here. Ah. First things first, Wandertail Mentor. 2/2, Raccoon. Whenever you expend 4, put a +1/+1 counter on Wandertail Mentor. That's a mana dork. Yes, that's going in there. It's a good card. All right. Let's go from the top here. We're looking at Kindle Spark Duo. I think we already have that in the stack. Feel like it. Maybe not. Nope. What are we looking at? Is legendary 3 Tree City? Oh, yep. Nilio, I was so sad that they made Otters. Is it in Bloomborough? I hadn't started playing. Is it yet? When the set dropped and still only have one deck, that is. But otters are one of my favorite creatures. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that is crazy good. Sticky Tongue Sentinel with reach. When it ETBs, return up to one target permanent you control to its owner's hand. Trying to think of the usefulness of that. I'll put it over here. There's some cards whose mechanics just confuse me. The only reason I could think of that as being valuable, Sticky Tongue Sentinel, is if you have something that has an ETB trigger that you want to do again. Because it's not like... It's not an instant, so it can't be done in response to anything. It's got reach. I don't know. Returning things to your hand, that mechanic has always like confused and frustrated me. Whisker Quill Scribe, a 2/2 mouse with Valiant. Whenever it becomes a target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. And then this last one. Clifftop Lookout. 1/2 with reach. When ETBs reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a land, put that card onto the battlefield tapped, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Draw a land out. I always like those. I like to have a couple of those that pull lands because I always feel like I'm mana starved. I don't know. Just want to do all the things all at once. All the things. Sorry if you can hear it. It's a little noisy. The air conditioner in here. But it's getting kind of uncomfortable. So we'll deal with it for a little bit. Like that. Like that. All right, we got Might of the Meek already. Cool. Baker's Bane Duo. Yeah, I think we got that already as well. Although I like that card enough that I'm gonna, if we dupe it, that's fine. Veteran Guard Mouse. 3+ a mountain, in our case. Cool. It's a 3/4 Mouse Soldier with Valiant. And yeah, the Valiant's a little different on this guy. It gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn, and you can also scry one. We'll put you over here. Oops. Hazard Root Herbalist. 1/4. Whenever you attack target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. If that creature is a token, it also gains Death Touch until end of turn. Yeah. Although Bellow doesn't really generate too many tokens. Yeah, who knows? At the very least, Hazard Root is a little shield. So 1/4. I don't know that we're gonna make it through all these packs. Watch as it's always so funny to me. Again, I am indeed a little bit. It's been a long day. So today was the last day of school for my kids. And so we had, it's been a busy day. I actually also called in sick to work today. I was not feeling well earlier. It was, kind of recovered later on in the day. But, it was a little bit rough today. So, I'm a little tired. We'll cut off at 11 at the latest tonight, I think. We can do this. We can get through these packs. But yeah, it was unpleasant. But again, end of school year was great. Kids had a blast, so all is well. Okay, let's see what we got here. As far as red and green, that's new to me. Well, maybe no, it's just deal 2 damage. Or 6 damage to target creature and 2 damage to up to 1 target creature token. Cool. Pop something off the board with that. Rustshield Rampager. So Raccoon, a 4/4 with Offspring 2. You can create a 1/1 token copy of it. This creature can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Heaped Harvest. Artifact Food. When that stings. I was like, oh, it was a 4? No, it's 3. 3 cost. You can gain some life off it though. When it enters and when you sack it, you may search your library for basic land. Yep, hell yeah. Right there. 3-tree mascot. Wasn't our land the 3-tree? If we can find it. They're all stuck. They're sticking together because they're fresh out of the packs. So, yeah, 3-tree city. 3-tree mascot is a 2/1 changeling. Every creature type. You pay 1, add 1 mana of any color, activate only once each turn. But you don't have to tap it. I'll put it in there. Put it over here. And then red and green. Festival of Embers. It's an enchantment. During your turn, you may cast instant and sorcery spells from your graveyard by paying 1 life in addition to their other costs. That's really cool. I'm always confused. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I always get like mildly confused when I lose follows. Like, what did I do? I think I'm very pleasant. I do think, though, I know that I did gain a lot of follows from who I'm related to. And I suspect that it's a lot to do with people just purging those that they don't watch from their follows. Like, because, you know, they followed me to support me, and that's great. But yeah. Well, I appreciate you, Delta. I think you are. I think you're very pleasant too. And I am very grateful to the fact that we have gotten to actually hang out in real life. It's been super good. Nelio, yeah, no, that was the road for many to find me, which is fine. Really no problem with that. Tooth, oh, thank you. You guys are so great. We just have fun. I just like chilling and having fun. Like, this space is kind of one of my favorite places in the house. Hanging out here, doing magic shit and doing music. It's great. I'm glad to have you guys here. All right, let's look at the Reds. Raccoon Rallier, we already have one of those. Sunshower Druid. I feel like we've got that one already. But you know what? Both of these, I'm going to just pop in there because I like them a lot. Delta. Oh, my God. That what I just said about you, I take it back. Oh, checks in the mail. Well, if you didn't lead me to put bullshit in my decks, then we wouldn't have this problem. All right, this is interesting. Whisker Quill Scribe. Did we do this one already? Anyway, whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, you may discard a card. If you do. Yeah, we've seen this one before, but I think it's kind of cool. So, 5/4. Hivespine Wolverine. When at ETBs, choose one. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature control. Hivespine Wolverine fights target creature token. Or destroy target artifact or enchantment. Yeah, hell yeah. Alright, bottom row here we got Rabid Gnaw. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn, then it deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. That's pretty nice. And Byway Barterer. Raccoon with Menace, 3/3. Whenever you expend 4, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 2 cards. You expend 4, yeah. Interesting. Dump your hand if it sucks. Oh, and Paw Patch Recruit. 2/1 with offspring 2 with trample. Whenever a creature you control becomes a target of a spell or ability, put a +1/+1 counter on target. Okay. Gas up other creatures. Like, that's kind of weird. But I like it. Yes. Cool. Mind spiral. Psychic whirl. I do like the imagery that Bloomburrow evokes about like treetop sentries. They're squirrels with arrows from high atop the trees. Bone guy. One of my best friends is at Metallica. Just sent a pic. He's up against the barrier with James basically singing to him. Yeah. And Bloomburrow does have, it's a great setting and backstory and world building. So Metallica, huh? How do we feel about Metallica? I have mixed feelings. I'm old enough to remember Napster. What's messed up is that, like, I say that, and the class cards. We'll get into that in a second. I went through this phase. It's funny how you age in and out of things, like how you see the world. At the time, I was like, those greedy bastards. It's like, because I'm like, music is too expensive. It's too pricey. Blah, blah, blah. Of course, when this happened, God, how old was I? Not that old. Now, knowing what I know about the music industry and how, like, a lot of artists don't ever really get paid, I agree with Lars. And yeah, so I feel Lars tried to save musicians from the exact thing that's happening now to them. Yeah, it's just so much worse than it used to be, than it's ever been, as far as trying to make it with music. I had a conversation with the filmmaker that I'm working with about how, like, you can work in music and make a living, right? But when you do, you're not going to be a rock star. You're not going to be a superstar. That is so rare. So completely, like, it's not, I'm not going to say it's unattainable, but, like, in order to get there, the amount of work you have to do and sacrifice and, like, kind of selling out. I don't know. I don't mean to be like that. Like, I applaud anybody who can make it. Yeah. 0.003 cents per song listen. Yeah. Like, indie artists don't stand a chance on streaming platforms. You'll do better if you don't go after the Spotifys and the Apple Musics and the Amazon Musics of the world. You go after you find your audience on TikTok. You find, like, there's just a way to do it that will garner you a little bit more success in the form of financial returns on your work. But like, just as an indie artist, putting your music up on Spotify is not the way to do it. It sucks. So yeah, as far as their music, Metallica's music, I am a bigger fan of their earlier music than I am of the more recent stuff. I feel like that was more boundary pushing. You know, they were like, the things they were doing were not being done by anybody else. And I think they got into a point with their writing that it just kind of became more, and this might be their producer too, just more like typical, like this radio friendly, you know, like, you know what I'm saying. It's radio friendly. The topics, the content, lyrically became more user friendly. But they are pioneers in metal, and that is something that, you know, everybody I think can agree on. They've forged a path for others to follow, and that's huge. So respect for sure. Yeah, I do like the newest album, 72 Seasons. I'll listen to it. I haven't listened to it, so I will give that a listen. His issue at the time was that their unreleased music got released on Napster before it was released, and he was pissed. Yeah, and saw how downloads were going to kill music careers. Yeah, there was a, whether you see this as a good or a bad thing, what I'm about to say is really up to you, but having that little, like, for profits and for making money on your music, the height was probably compact discs. Like CDs and, well, vinyl too, are like, you can't copy it. You have to buy it or borrow it. Yeah, now it's just so easy to just like drag and drop. And like, there's still physical media, but it's a lot less common than it used to be. Like, my kid didn't know what a compact disc was. I think they went back a little to their roots. It's not like, yeah, tape sharing. Yes. So like, when I was in junior high, I had a good friend of mine turned me on to 311 and I think The Urge. And so, and that was through tape sharing. And yeah, tape sharing pales in comparison to like tape copying, duplicating, pales in comparison to what you're able to do with a computer. So, oh, but it actually kind of made sense together. Two different thoughts, but it kind of did make sense. Like, yeah, the scale at which piracy can happen, the speed and scale is just, yeah. And I get that was what he was on about, you know. And back in the day, I was like, ugh, because I was pirating music like everybody else. But now I get it. Trying to make money on my music, now I get it. Okay. Let's take a look here because we're running out of time. I get assault. Choose one. I get assault deals 4 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it, or you can exile a target artifact. Oh yeah, I mean, you just had to wait, but you could get. I remember queuing up downloads in. I think I use LimeWire. Just like, I just have a list of 100 songs. Let it cook. Come back, and you had all sorts of new music to listen to, which was exciting at the time, but now I get where they're coming from. That is kind of stealing. No, tree top sentries. 2/4 squirrel archer with reach, and when it ETBs, you may forage. If you do, draw a card. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Delta, you were talking about these class enchantments. Blacksmith's Talent. When it enters, create a colorless equipment artifact token named Sword with equipped creature gets +1/+1 and equipped 2. Level 2, at the beginning of combat on your turn, attack target equipment you control. Oh, I'm sorry. Attach, which makes a whole lot more sense. Attach target equipment you control to up to 1 target creature you control. Kind of get a... Oh, you got to pay 2 in a mountain. And then pay 3 in a mountain. At level 3, during your turn, equipped creatures you control have double strike and haste. Cool. LimeWire. 4 more packs, we can make it. But that doesn't fit in Bellow, does it? Yeah, no, I'm gonna go back through these when I deck build. Right now I am just gassing up Bellow. That's it. I have this grand plan to build all 5 mono decks. So stuff like that could come in. Ooh. Hidden Grotto. It's a duos. Mind Spiral. Some of these I'm recognizing. Peerless Recycling. Just a second, I want to look at that one. Because it's got raccoons on it. Alright. Instant gift a card. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. If the gift was promised, instead return 2 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. Hell yeah. That's a big bear. Lumra, Bellow of the Woods. With Vigilance and Reach. And wild cards in the Power and Toughness. Power and Toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. Dope. When Lumra enters, mill 4 cards, then return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Crossfade, yeah. It's been a hot minute, but I do remember that band. Bark Knuckle Boxer. 3/2 with whenever you expend 4, Bark Knuckle Boxer gains indestructible until end of turn. Yes, please. They just reconnect, like they're back together. Okay. Trying to remember what was their big hit. They had a big song, at least one. I think Veteran Guard Mouse is already in the stack, but we'll put it over there. Tree Stop Sentries already is. Kindle Spark Duo already is, so cool. Now I gotta listen to... Oh, yeah. Yes. So they're doing it again. That's cool. Out there doing the damn thing. All right, cool. Cold. That was the big one. I should have gone back to this song and redone the fiddle part on an actual violin. I can always do that later. So the rock feed YouTube has been trying for years to get them to reunite, and apparently it worked. They announced it with an interview with. Oh, that's cool. Get to the point where, all right, fine, fuck it, we'll do it. Stop bothering us. Reptilian Recruiter may already be in there, but let's see. 4/2 with trample. When it enters, choose target creature. If that creature's power is 2 or less, or if you control another lizard, gain control of that creature until end of turn. Untap it and gains haste. I'm just going to put it in here anyway. It'll be a repeat. And it's all good. Sorry for the yawns. I like this. So this is blue or red, but it's a Tempest Angler. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Tempest Angler. Cool. Sazakap's Brew. Gift of Fish. As an additional cost, discard a card. Target player draws 2 cards. If a gift was promised, target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. I think we might already have this guy in there. Baker's Bane Duo. Yeah. But again. Cool. 2 more packs. We can do this. Before I turn back into a pumpkin. Or lose a glass slipper. Or turn into a mouse. I don't know. Oh yeah. Hey. So are we talking individual IPs, or do you just want to like greatest hits? All the best baddies. That would be Duskmorn. A fair assessment. I love Magic. There's just something for everybody. There's a number of interesting cards in this pack. Here we go. Yeah, Valgy's from that set. That's right. He is indeed. All right. Cash grab. Try not to chop my finger off. All right, cash grab. Instant. Mill 4 cards. You may put a permanent card from among the cards milled this way into your hand. If you control a squirrel or return a squirrel card to your hand this way, create a food token. Yeah, I'll put that over here. All right. Raccoon Rallier we already have. Whisker Quill Scribe. I did the same thing last time. We already have in there. Veteran Guard Mouse. We might already have in here. Because we're Chuck. Right. Three-tree Scribe. Whenever creature you control leaves the battlefield without dying, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature control. Here's a question. Found Chucky. Here's a point of order. Three-tree Scribe says whenever this or another creature you control leaves the battlefield without dying, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. The question is, so, okay, I guess that's not really leaving the battlefield, but my question was going to be, Bellow creates creatures from artifacts and enchantments. Are they considered to be entering and leaving the battlefield, or is it just that those artifacts and enchantments for that turn become a creature? So would that trigger this? Three-tree Scribe. Yeah, so there is no ETB or enter or leave the battlefield. They're always there. Okay. That would have been kind of busted. All right. Raccoon Rogue, Brazen Collector with first strike. Whenever it attacks, you can add a mountain. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. Yeah. Okay. That's not what I was hoping for, but I accept that. Scrap Shooter. Do we already have this guy? Gift a card. He's got reach. When Scrap Shooter enters, if the gift was promised, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. Are you serious? Okay. The Chucky card. Fuck. Yes. Yeah, it is. Cards that I can't have around my kids. Bookmark that too. Damn. All right, last pack, because it is after 11. Hey, what's up, Alan? I get a hold of that and play it with my brothers and see what they say. Last pack of the night. Didn't get to mix any tracks tonight, but that's okay. This was fun. As much needed little chill time. So close to June I can taste it. It is. But for what reason are we excited? I can think of a number of reasons to be excited about June. Have a rabbit. All right. Last pack. Right? Yeah, I thought that was actually decent. The $40 price tag on old Chucky. Oh, yeah. Oh. Hey, this is all. June's going to be great. I just fell. All right, what do we have going on here? Hunting out the red and the green. So, War Squeak. When it enters, target creature an opponent controls can't block this turn. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has haste. I like that. Then we got... This is new, I think. 3-tree Root Weaver. Oh, Manadork. Little guy. Little mole. Mole Druid. That's it for the colors we're looking for. It's on a boat. I got the memory. Yeah, that's speaking of importing things. I got the memory, the new memory for the computer. I don't know if I shared this with you guys or not. Probably did. I found that I tend to tell stories more than once. Apologies for that, but the memory I originally bought for the computer to bump it to 128 gig of memory was the wrong kind of memory. It was it was an incompatible version of the right kind of memory. It was DDR4 3200, which is fine for this computer. No, the best part about it, the reason why I got it wrong, because I went to the qualified vendors list, the QVL list, on the motherboard that I have. And I looked, but instead of doing what I ended up doing later, I eyeball grepped it and missed a letter. I missed one character. Yeah, and so I went back and did another search for a kit, that. But I basically, what I ended up doing was copying the SKU from the QVL list and doing a find on the webpage that had the memory that I needed and made sure that they matched exactly. So this new kit, which came today, should do the trick. The reason I thought of it is because, Tooth, you said this on a boat. The memory came from Taiwan and got stuck in customs for a day. So it happens. But it came today. Anyway, I really need to go to bed. This has been a lot of fun. I love cracking packs and talking about Magic. I appreciate you guys being here to hang out with me. Alan, Tooth, Delta, Nilio was here earlier. Who else was here? If I missed you, I apologize. But I appreciate it. I'm going to go pass out. It's been a long day. Yeah, you have a great weekend too. I am planning on streaming on Tuesday unless something comes up. Oh, yeah. Glad I caught the stream tonight. Yeah, see you in the next one. Have a good night. Yeah, everybody have a great night. I will talk to you all very soon. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you. And I will talk to you hopefully Tuesday. See you later.